Good afternoon, everybody. I hope you all are having a blessed weekend so far. Today is Saturday. It's around 1 o'clock my time, 1 p.m. my time, Central Standard Time. Just kind of wanted to touch up on some of the news that I watched earlier this morning before leaving the house on my way to the grocery store. So, apparently President Trump thinks he's already the president. Former President Trump thinks that he's already the former president/president-elect Trump seems to already think that he's the president. He's acting like he's the president already. Ain't even been inaugurated yet, and he's playing president. And that's what I mean when I say some of these people, they step out of their lane. They're so power hungry that they tend to step out of their lane. You ain't even in office yet, and you already talking about Netanyahu better have the war wrapped up with Iran and what he said he's gonna work on this peace plan. And I'm gonna just break all this stuff down in a minute. I don't have my notes, so I'm gonna just kind of wing it a little bit on my way out here. But this man ain't even the president yet. It doesn't seem like Biden and Harris then already kind of just conceded and just they're conceded and defeated right now, because it seems like ain't neither one of them really, fulfilling their role. You still got 60 more days, 70 more days in office. So there's some things that you can do before you leave and hand over power to him. He's not president yet, but he's trying to play like he's the president. So he act like he... My whole thing is this. He's telling Netanyahu to have the war wrapped up. My whole thing is this. He don't need to tell Netanyahu nothing. First of all, if all of them take their weapons from Israel, that's like they said 52 states, members of the UN, 52 countries in the UN have signed an agreement to impose an embargo, a weapons embargo on Israel. They don't need y'all weapons. Y'all understand? Do y'all not? Because y'all don't have God in you. You don't believe in God. You don't believe in Jesus Christ in the first place. But what these people do not understand is that Israel is going to be fine either way it goes. If America turn on them, if any of them UN countries, NATO, everybody turn on Israel, they still going to be all right, because guess what? That's where the Lord Jesus Christ was born. God is not going to let anything happen to Israel, regardless of what y'all say, and you do not run Israel. You don't tell Israel how to fight their war, period. Now, yes, Netanyahu could have this whole thing sewn up before he takes office, but not under his command and his control. That's what he needs to understand. He ain't controlling nothing. This is all under God's control. And the one thing that the things that Netanyahu needs to do in order to just get this war out of the way, get the Ayatollah out of the way, get the Iranian president out of the way. You got to take out them two. Okay, because it'll be even now. If America wants to work with Israel, that's fine. Work with Israel, because if you take out the Ayatollah and you take out the Iranian president, that's even exchange. They tried to kill Trump. They tried to kill Netanyahu. You take out them two, y'all even. And that's going to end the war. If you hit them nuclear facilities, hit them power plants, that takes out the whole thing. They are powerless then. That's what's going to end the war. But Biden was sitting up there trying to tell Netanyahu to hold off, don't do it, like he's working both sides. And then they had the moles. That's why he got rid of Galan. That's why they got that Iranian lady up in there leaking out information, leaking out intel, national security documents and things on Telegram. That was under Biden's rule, under Biden's watch. And so Netanyahu had to I think they arrested some Israeli spies that was leaking out information. He got rid of Galan. Washington needed to get rid of that Iranian lady. And anybody else you suspect of being a mole, get rid of. But the way that Netanyahu, he already know what he got to do. It's just that all these other people were standing in his way trying to tell him how to fight his war and protect his country and his people. These Iranians and these Hezbollahs and Houthis and Hamas, they tried to kill him and his family, got hostages. Netanyahu need to fight his war the way he wants to fight this war under God's guidance. And the way he does that is, at this point, since these people, Iran and all of their proxies have tried to kill not only President Trump, but tried to kill Netanyahu, he You take out the Iranian president and the Ayatollah. That's what you do. Hit the nuclear facilities. Why would you not hit the nuclear facilities and give them a chance to re-up and regroup and come and fire nukes at you? That's dumb. That's the way he ends this war. He can end that war before January. If he does that, I just swear, some of these people, man. But how that's going to affect us? It's going to affect the entire world. You know, the sooner they wrap up the war in Gaza, the better. And then as far as with humanitarian aid, they said something about they've cut off all humanitarian aid in Gaza, and oh, that's genocidal, and all those poor people are going to starve to death. For one, like I said, they gave them opportunities to get up out of Gaza, get up out of the war zone. Israel has given them ample opportunities to get up out of that area. They have a place to go. I think they told them to go to central Gaza or somewhere, but they are supposed to get up out of the West Bank, get up out of that war zone, and they've given them every opportunity to do it. So Netanyahu's next war strategy is to deny them humanitarian aid. For everybody who want to stay back and stay behind, well, we're going to stop bringing that humanitarian aid in, because we're not about to let Hamas and Iran and the Houthis and everybody to hide in those convoys, in those aid convoys, and hold and have command and control centers in those humanitarian aid convoys. They already found out there was UN, UNRWA, they had to terminate the contract with UNRWA because they had terrorists posing as humanitarian aid workers, or they were doubling as terrorists and humanitarian aid workers. So they had to get rid of that contract and cut off all aid from UNRWA. So my whole thing is, no, it is not cruel when Israel has already warned them refugees and told them to raise up out of that war zone, get up out of that war zone, get up out of Gaza. Our next step is to treat you like terrorists. If you do not leave, we're going to treat you like terrorists because we have told you and given you ample time to leave. Now, the whole strategy with this was, you either stay and starve or you leave and live. That's it, that's all. Now, the decision is theirs to make. So, don't blame Israel because they chose to stay behind when they have been given ample opportunity to leave and save their lives, period. So, yes, Israel has to cut off aid from them. They have to stop the humanitarian aid. No more convoys should be coming up in there after they give them a certain amount of time to leave, vacate that war zone. I don't see how difficult that is to understand. They've given you the courtesy of a warning to leave, and you still stand right? Whatever. What else? Oh, the monkeys escaping. The monkeys. Y'all think that was an accident? I don't know what they're trying to do, but they're saying, what, 40-something monkeys in South Carolina escaped some lab? That was no accident. Next thing you know, they're going to lie and say one of them monkeys and bit somebody and going to start another pandemic or start killing off some of the population. They ain't rounded up all the monkeys. They don't know where they are. They still in search of all of them. They want them monkeys to go and bite somebody. Them monkeys probably infested with something or infected with something. And they just act like them monkeys escaped from that lab. And it's going, just like they said, then they try to say that that's how AIDS started, with a monkey bite. Ain't that how they try to say AIDS started? So what do they got planned? What do they have in mind? Are they trying to kill off a certain amount of population? Is that what they're doing? The monkeys ain't been going to escape by accident. Somebody let them monkeys out. They got something planned. I don't know what it is. There's something going on. Also, Trump is saying that, you know, from when he gets in office, he's going to go to war with the cartels. You better. He better. Because if not, then you're going to have some hell on wheels in America when you take office. Because them Trinidad Arabians, they're going to run over America. They done already got the meth and the fent jumping off over here. They done flooded this country with methamphetamines and fentanyl and opioids. And they killing off white people. A bunch of white people that's on that meth and that fentanyl. Them opioids, them hard drugs. So you better do something about it. Or they're going to take over this country like they took over Mexico. But you know what? As far as with the whole illegals and all that, I'm not concerned about them because they gonna know what it feels like to be they gonna know what it feels like to be black in America, because they gonna get the NIGGA treatment. They gonna get that treatment. That's how they finna get their wake up call. Because y'all think y'all gonna come over here and you come up off of welfare, y'all gonna fund y'all cartel activities with government money, smuggle y'all family members over here so they can come over here and sell fentanyl and meth and come up and buy businesses and buy houses and sell tacos on the street corners and all this stuff, and continue to fund the cartel activities in America and Mexico. Now y'all finna catch y'all issue. Y'all finna know what it feels like to be black. They're gonna treat y'all just like they can treat us. And black people, stay out of it. You have nothing to do with it. This is not, you don't have no dog in this fight. Stay out of it. Because they over here illegally dumping them in y'all neighborhoods, taking resources and things from you all in your neighborhoods, our neighborhoods, and dump them off into the poor black communities. And so, stay out of it. This is not your war. This is not your war. This is not your fight. They don't fight for you. You don't fight for them. Stay out of it. Because we about to catch hell anyway. With this man back in office and all these illegals over here and stuff, we catching hell in our own way. So you stay out of whatever thing that they about to do to these illegals, these white people, these law enforcement people, whatever they about to do, stay out of it. Don't you go marching for them. Don't you go protesting for them. Let them do what they do, because they shouldn't have came over here in the first place. Thinking they gonna come over here, live free, stack their bread, kill half of the population, kill American citizens with their dope. That's what they're doing. Let them do. Let Trump and let all these good old boys and these cops and stuff do what they've been doing to us. Because they realize now it ain't us that's gonna mess y'all up. It's these illegals coming over here that's gonna turn this country upside its head. Y'all don't do something about it. Period. Black people, stay out of it. What else? All this fake outrage on TikTok and Twitter. All these people are having these meltdowns and stuff about Trump being in office. Shut up. Y'all just trying to get attention. Y'all trying to get views and likes and stuff. Half of these people, if you look at them, they act like they so upset and crying and stuff. Not a tear dropping from their eye. All this fake hysterics and stuff just to get views and likes. Shut up. Go somewhere and do something productive. What else? That's about all I can think of. Oh, Elon Musk. They said that he has designed some type of motorhome or house for under $20,000. That lets you know this is the richest man in the world, right? This man gets all kind of government contracts, right? Elon Musk by himself can cure the homeless problem in this country. Because you can get billions of dollars in government contracts. You can get billions of dollars for Tesla to build, construct these homes that you're building. If you can build them for under $20,000, do you know how many homes that you can build in each city, major city, to get rid of this homeless problem? You have the capability in Tesla to even build apartment complexes. You can build apartment complexes. Get all this stuff. You yourself, being the richest man in the world, you can kill all the homeless crisis with your own company, with Tesla. Why don't you do it? You worried about playing spaceships and rockets in Star Trek with billions of dollars, and you can't even live up there. Human beings cannot live in Mars. So why are you even trying to go up there? You can only be on the moon for so long until it starts affecting your health. Take care of the problems down here. You can make your own. Elon Musk is in the process of making his own city in Austin, I believe. He can build little communities only costs $50,000 to build. Okay, that let you know he has the ability to build millions of those houses. All that money that they put over there in Ukraine, they can give that to Tesla to build housing communities. Not only will that provide jobs for people at Tesla to build and construct these homes, but it will house a lot of people who don't have a place to live. All that money y'all giving over to Ukraine, billions of dollars, $425 billion of stuff, packages. They giving it over to Ukraine. So yeah, Trump need to cut that off. Cut that crap off. The money that has been given to Ukraine, they could have helped the homeless problem, the food insecurity problem for American citizens, and they could have also taken care of this border crisis with the mass deportations and enforcement at the border. They could have killed two birds with one stone with all that money that Biden's been dumping over there in Ukraine. So I do agree with Trump on some things, like that whole cartel thing. He got to nip that in the bud. He's got to do something about that, because they will overrun this country like they do in Mexico. Next thing you know, they'll start beheading politicians over here, beheading mayors and politicians. They'll behead the mayors in these cities that they're trying to take over. They'll start doing stuff to these elected officials if y'all don't get a handle on these cartels. Because they done already sent them over here with orders to kill police. They said that's already been proven, that they have been given orders by their gangs and their cartels to kill law enforcement officers. So y'all better do something about this before it gets out of hand. Yes, maybe, yeah, Biden needs to get out of the way. That's one thing, yes, I do agree with Trump. I know Trump would be a lot more aggressive than Biden has. Because, and then with the whole thing with Ukraine, we shouldn't have never interfered with that in that war in the first place. I don't know why, why were we over there giving them money, and I don't understand. Zelensky just needs to be able to walk away from this war as a man, because I look at it like this. Zelensky, he stood his ground. He fought until the very end. But at this point, Trump is about to wash his hands of Ukraine. Zelensky has led his country into this war. He stood on his 10 toes like a man. He got the money. He got the weapons. And they are still on the front line fighting. Let him walk away as a man. He's not a coward. Let him walk away as a man. They said that he got property in Florida. Give him a nice severance package. Let him walk away. Let him leave. Give Putin Ukraine. Let Russia have Ukraine. That's all he wanted in the first place. He wasn't trying to kill all them people. Putin wasn't trying to hurt them people and kill them people. He was just trying to rejoin Ukraine with Russia. Why not? I would just let him do it. Let him have Ukraine and give Zelensky an out to walk away from this war as a man, because he fought this war as a man. Don't kill him. I mean, he was just doing what he's supposed to do as a world leader and as a president of Ukraine. He just protected his people and protected his country. So let him leave. You know, that's the thing. He did what he's supposed to do. He held it down. He stood on business like he's supposed to. But back to what I was saying yesterday. Trump had been working on a peace plan, they said, in 2020 with the Middle East. He had been working on a peace plan. Now that he has been reelected, he's going to be able to carry out the peace plan. And guess what? The Antichrist is going, didn't the Bible say, the scripture said that the Antichrist is going to draft a peace plan? He's going to create a peace treaty, a temporary false peace agreement, ceasefire. He's doing everything that the Bible said the Antichrist is going to do. And you idiots still saying that he's not Antichrist. I don't get it. Y'all can't listen to any fool with a computer connection because they don't know what the hell they're talking about. We sit up there and tell you Trump ain't the Antichrist. Trump came to change things. Trump ain't coming to change. Trump came to fulfill scripture. He came to fulfill prophecy. That's what he's here for. That's what he's here for. I don't care what y'all say. And all y'all listen to these idiots, all these people that's sitting up there telling you that he's not Antichrist, stay tuned, because he's going to draft that peace plan, These countries are going to fall in line, and there will be a temporary peace, temporary period of peace. And then all hell is going to break back loose. But the Bible said that the beast is going to be in power for a short time. What they say, 36 months, 3.5 years? Yeah, that's about how long his term is going to be. 36 months, 4 years, 3.5 years. Yep, that's about right. It's lining right up with the scriptures. So we let him do what he do. Let him have his little power, because it's not going to last. It's only going to be temporary. And we already know with Trump and Elon Musk, you got two warring narcissists, malignant narcissists, and both of them is power hungry. They want to run everything and everybody around them. They want to control everything and everybody around them. Let's see how they work. Let's see how that works out. Because two raging narcissists, arrogant narcissists, are not going to be able to share power. I don't see it happening. Vance, in my opinion, is a wicked, evil opportunist, because he didn't even like Trump 2 years ago. He was speaking out against Trump 2 years ago. That's how I know he'll stab Trump in the back at any opportunity. The least opportunity that Vance get, he's gonna stab Trump in the back. And if they say, you know what, we finna take the presidency away from him, we're gonna get him out of office, we're gonna make you president, you think he won't jump at the chance to do it? Of course he will. And he gonna wear that eyeliner and stuff for nothing. He got that old goth looking, crazy, weird looking look, the eyeliner and stuff on. He ain't got that demonic look for nothing. Vance want to be president, and they will make him president because they'll be able to control him. So y'all keep watch, because that's what I see is going to happen. Y'all think y'all done voted in y'all savior and y'all hero, and he's going to show y'all that he is an antichrist on his way to hell. He's a son of perdition. And I hate to say that about him, but that's what it is. Anytime you crave power and you drunk off power the way he is and want to rule the world and play God and autograph the Bible like you God, like you wrote it, like it's your word. Dude is just, he's almost 80 years old. There's no changing. I'm not going to say that. I'm not going to say he's not going to change, but it's very hard at that age. When you've been that way your whole life and you almost 80 years old, it's a very slim chance that you're going to change without some type of divine intervention from the Lord himself. So he gave him his fair trial. Kamala stated her case. She stated the case against Donald Trump. She did her job. And now she can go home. She can chill out. Her and Joe Biden ride out the rest of their years knowing that they did what they're supposed to do. That's what I would do. I would dust my hands off to politics. No more politics. Be done with it. It's a dirty game. So, yeah, y'all. I got 23 minutes on this. I'm in 23 minutes. Let me cut this off. But yeah, so far on the weekend, ain't much going on. But yes, the war in Israel can be stopped, and I believe Netanyahu knows what it takes to stop the war or end this war himself. He doesn't need nobody's help. He know what he got to do, and he don't need Trump to tell him what to do. He don't need Biden to tell him what to do. He don't need the United Nations to tell him what to do. He's under God's command and control. So we'll see how this happens. This is going to be the quickest 70-something days. These days gonna go by like lightning, because then this idiot gonna be right back in office. And yes, he is an idiot, because he does not have the fear of God in him. Anybody that don't have the fear of God in him is a fool. And so y'all about to get y'all issue. Y'all wanted him. Y'all want a king. That's like they said back in Israel when they was worshiping golden cows and stuff like that. They said they wanted a king they could see, and God gave them a king that they could see, and God gave y'all's king. We want a king we can see. Y'all so stupid. Just like when they chose Barabbas over Jesus. They said, which one do y'all want us to release? Y'all want us to release Jesus, or y'all want us to release Barabbas? And they knew Barabbas was a murderer. They said, turn loose Barabbas. Give us Barabbas and let that murderer back out into society. Well, y'all wanted Trump. Y'all got him. So we're going to see how this goes. But black people, just kind of stay to the side and just let everything We need to take the position of the Mexicans and the Asians now and be the middle minorities. We're now the middle minorities. So they're about to declare war on these illegals and these Hispanics in America, because now they see how these cartels have come over here to wreak havoc and destruction on the American citizens with their drugs and their violence and their human trafficking. And so y'all just sit back and y'all watch. This is not y'all issue. Let them focus on them now. I'll holler back at y'all when I get back home. Peace. Another thing I was thinking about is how these cities now, all of these mid-sized and major cities, and all the major cities like LA, New York, Chicago, all of them cities, people are trying to leave. If they can afford to leave, a lot of those people are leaving, like I said, Chicago, Detroit, New York, Houston. They're going to start leaving Dallas too. They all moved down to Dallas, but since it's going to get overpopulated, and I look for a lot of migrants to start trying to hide in Houston and Dallas and San Antonio. When they start rounding them up, when Trump them start rounding the migrants up, they're going to all try to start hiding in those southern cities. Probably some parts of Florida too. But everybody with half a sense and some income are leaving the major cities because they're becoming unaffordable, because you have all these people moving into these certain areas and they're driving up housing costs, they're driving up the food costs, they're driving up the cost of living in general. So a lot of people are now trying to find smaller towns. A lot of people are going way out in the woods, in the country, and they're getting homesteads, retiring off into the homesteads and stuff, especially those who can live a nomadic life where they can work from home, or if they can work virtually. They are usually leaving the big cities and going to smaller communities to get away from all of the hustle and bustle and a lot of the crime and everything crime is going to increase. As the cost of living and inflation increases, crime in these big cities are going to increase. And until Trump and all of these Republicans do something about the migrant crisis, it's going to continue to get chaotic. That's just the way it is. So if you can, and if you live in a small town, I say stay put. Don't try to move anywhere else. Don't move to a larger city. And you're even in a better position if you live in a secluded area where a lot of people don't live and it's kind of, sparse. And I'm not saying go move off into the mountains or somewhere, because then, you ain't gonna be able to get out, if it snows and stuff like that. You want to be somewhere that's accessible, but not in the city. That's the thing. That's the best place to be now in these end times, because the Bible says, flee the cities. When the Lord told Lot and Abraham and all of them to get out of them cities because it's about to be chaos, that's how it is now in these times. It's best to not live in a major city because it's about to be chaos. It's crime-ridden, it's dirty, you just don't want to live in a big city right now. Suburbs, all of the houses are so close together in the suburbs. Those cookie-cutter houses that they made out in the suburbs, all of them so close together. It's just best to be kind of away from people. The older I get, the more I like to be away from people, because you don't know when people are looking at you, spying on you, scoping you out, casing you out, things like that. And that's why you always got to keep you some ammunition, keep you a weapon, and just kind of stay off of people and be guarded, more guarded with people nowadays. Whenever I see somebody trying to get close to me, or somebody that I haven't talked to in a while start trying to make contact with me, I am very guarded nowadays. I don't trust too many people around me. I don't trust too many people knowing a lot about me. I am extremely guarded nowadays. And I always ask myself, when I have an encounter with a person, it's just, I guess, the discernment in me and the spirituality in me is when somebody new try to come around me or somebody old from the past try to come around me, I immediately question and ask myself, who sent you? Who sent you? Did God send you or did the devil send you? Why are you here? I ask anybody to try to come around me that. I don't trust too many people around me now. I see why old people are so guarded nowadays. I don't like too many people around me now. Because these cities are about to get chaotic. In the end times, this is the time of Jacob's trouble. And we're about to enter into even more perilous times than we're having now. And I always say, everybody stay on your guard. The Bible says keep your circle small. Don't hang around a whole bunch of people. Don't be all out and about trying to party and be all in crowds of people and stuff, because it's just too dangerous nowadays. I'm not saying be scared and paranoid, but just, watch your move, watch your steps. Be careful out here, because you just can't trust folks nowadays. And being in large crowds and stuff is just not really safe. And now that these fools and let these monkeys get out of this cage, we might have another pandemic, y'all. Ain't no telling what they've been doing, testing them monkeys on and stuff. And now they done let these fool monkeys get out. And what if these monkeys mate and multiply? And it's going to be some idiot that's going to try to keep them monkeys, keep one of them as a pet or a lot of them as a pet. Don't be surprised, because these weirdos love animals so much. If some of them weirdos find them monkeys, they're gonna be trying to keep them as pets. Some of them even have sex with them monkeys. Like that, remember that monkey, that Travis monkey that they had to kill, that ripped that lady face off? I think that woman was going with that monkey. What was it, orangutan or something? It got so big and it got out of control because she was feeding it drugs. She was feeding that monkey Oxycontin or Percocet or something. That one that ripped that lady's face off, and they had to give her all them surgeries to reconstruct her face. I think that woman was having sex with that monkey. And these idiots, I'm telling y'all, people weird. People are weird. And they done let them monkeys get out down there in South Carolina. It's going to be some fool going to try to take them monkeys and domesticate them and treat them as a kid or lover or something. Watch. And they're going to blame the monkey. If there's a new pandemic out here, they're going to say it was the monkeys that got out. Must have bit somebody. Watch. All right, y'all. I'm headed back in, and I will get back maybe later on tonight. If not, tomorrow, God grant it, Lord will. Be blessed.
The search is on for dozens of escaped animals in South Carolina. 43 monkeys bred for medical research broke their way out of a compound on Wednesday. I'm sure you've heard about it. Law enforcement and health officials say they don't pose a threat to humans, but people who live nearby are being warned to stay clear of those creatures and call 911 if they see the monkeys. Dave Malkoff has more on how they got out.
Here they are, 43 escaped monkeys just feet away from their enclosures at the Alpha Genesis Primate Research Center in Yemassee, South Carolina. CEO Greg Westergaard says a trained employee closed but did not lock a door.
So the monkeys saw an opportunity to dash, and they ran out immediately when she turned her pressure washing machine on, which is what we use to wash the enclosures.
Did they know how to open the door?
No, I think they probably just pushed.
And that's all they needed. One cat-sized female got out, and monkey see, monkey do. The rest followed.
You want it?
I met a similar species on assignment in Sri Lanka. They were very friendly with tourists and journalists, too. You can see how curious and smart macaques are, even in the wild. The monkeys in the South Carolina facility are bred for vaccine testing, everything from COVID to HIV. Alpha Genesis, the CDC, and local law enforcement say the monkeys that escaped pose no risk to human health.
These are young animals that are free of all diseases and also have never been used in testing, so there is no public health danger involved with these monkeys.
They have not gone far. Dr. Westergaard tells us if you stand at this fence and look up into these trees, you can not only see them, but you can also hear them. They are looking at us as much as we are looking for them. And you can actually see them back there.
Yeah, those are actually long-tailed monkeys that are in those enclosures right there. Yeah.
The escaped ones are rhesus macaques. Westergaard has been tempting them back inside with a trail of fruit leading to traps. They go inside and a door gently closes behind them. Until they come back, police are asking neighbors not to go into the woods and to lock their doors. Just one question remains this morning, and it's about that employee who let them out in the first place. Did this person get in trouble?
Yes, they're on disciplinary action at this moment, yes.
For CBS Saturday Morning, Dave Malkoff in Yamasee, South Carolina.
The question is, was it intentional?
I'm just picturing the movie Outbreak right now, which but they haven't had the vaccine. They're all fine. They're all clean. They're all good.
Except lock your doors, everybody.
Right, watch out for the monkeys.
Our country is being poisoned from within by the drugs and by all of the other crime that's taking place. The drug cartels are waging war in America, and it's now time for America to wage war on the cartels. In this war, Joe Biden has sided against the United States and with the cartels. They are making more money than they've ever made before, times 10. There's never been anything like it. They're major, major companies. They're bigger than even some of our biggest companies. Biden's open border policies are a deadly betrayal of our nation. When I am president, it will be the policy of the United States to take down the cartels, just as we took down ISIS and the ISIS caliphate, and just as, unlike the situation we're in today, we had a very, very strong border, the strongest border, in fact, in the history of our country, and drugs were at a low of 45 years. There's been nothing like what we did just 2 years ago. We will show no mercy on the cartels. Every day, drug traffickers are using the waters of our region to ship their lethal poisons to America, killing so many of our people and ruining families. In addition to restoring strong border security, I will deploy all necessary military assets, including the U.S. Navy, to impose the full naval embargo on the cartels. I did that before, and it worked. What we did was incredible. We will guarantee that the waters of the Western Hemisphere are not used to traffic illicit drugs to our country. Furthermore, I will order the Department of Defense to make appropriate use of special forces, cyber warfare, and other overt and covert actions to inflict maximum damage on cartel leadership, infrastructure, and operations. I will designate the major cartels as foreign terrorist organizations. We will sever their access to global financial systems. I will also work to forge an unprecedented partnership with neighboring governments in our region, just like I did in Mexico. And remember, in Mexico alone, an estimated 100,000 civilians have been tragically murdered or gone missing at the hands of these cartels. The Mexican government, run by a very fine man, the president, is really working hard, but it's not working out. These cartels are vicious and they're violent, and they have Mexico for now stymied. Well, we have to help Mexico, and we have to stymie the cartels. Either we will get the full cooperation of other governments to stop this menace, or we will expose every bribe, every kickback, every payoff, and every bit of corruption that is allowing the cartels to preserve their brutal reign, and it is indeed brutal. Finally, as I have said before, I will ask Congress to pass legislation ensuring that drug smugglers and human traffickers receive the death penalty. The drug cartels and their allies in the Biden administration have the blood of countless millions on their hands. Millions and millions of families and people are being destroyed. When I'm back in the White House, the drug kingpins and vicious traffickers will never sleep soundly again. We did it once, and we did it better than anybody else. There's never been a better border than we had just 2 years ago. It was strong, it was powerful, and it was respected all over the world. And now we're laughed at all over the world. And we're not going to let that happen much longer. We have to take over. We have to be tough. We have to be smart. We have to be fair. But if we don't do something immediately, our country is gone.
Your leaders yesterday at the UN General Assembly came together to call for an immediate ceasefire. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu is speaking at the UN tomorrow. He has refused to do that. What would you do differently to prevent the Middle East?
Well, you have to have that ended one way or the other. The world isn't going to take it. You have to have that ended, and I would think that we're getting close to a point where maybe it can end pretty soon. But you're going to have to end. That's unacceptable. The whole thing over there is unacceptable. That's another one. October 7th would have never happened. Would have never happened. Ukraine and Russia would have never happened. Think of it. Would have never happened. Inflation would have never happened. Think of the world. The Afghanistan pullout in that way. We would have pulled out, but we would have pulled out with dignity and strength. I'm the one that got it down to that number. But I would have kept Bagram, because Bagram is this massive Air Force base that we built many, many years ago with billions and billions of dollars, the most powerful runways that can hold more load than any other runway in the world. And we walked away from it. And it wasn't Afghanistan that was the problem. We walked away from a great military base that we built to the highest specifications that was 1 hour away from where China makes its nuclear weapons. We are being run by Kamala, who is grossly incompetent. All you have to do is look at her interview last night, look at her interview with Oprah, look at her interview with the gentleman from Pennsylvania. All you have to do is look around and you'll see it. We had 4 years of incompetent leadership. We cannot, as a country, sustain another 4 years. Thank you very much. Take a look at what happened. The Senate races.
Compulsory hijab is one of the most visible symbols of oppression for millions of Iranians.
As you know, there have been 2 assassination attempts on my life that we know of. and they may or may not involve, but possibly do, Iran. But we've been threatened very directly by Iran. And I think you have to let them know, because the best way to do it is through the office of the president, that you do any attacks on former presidents or candidates for president, your country gets blown to smithereens, as we say.
Hello and welcome to this special edition of Vantage, live from the White House. America is Trump country again. He will be the 47th President of the United States of America. They're live from the White House, soon to be the new residence of Donald Trump. It was also here that Donald Trump brokered the Abraham Accords. So the voters have a legitimate question in their minds. If those presidents could do it, why not Joe Biden? The Arab voters want to punish the Democrats for supporting Israel. Joe Biden's shadow looms large over this election, and Kamala Harris may end up paying the price for it. This Trump hat, it says, President Trump save America. But this hat is made in China. And this is the Chinese interference that Americans must be investigating. But of late, Donald Trump and the Republicans have made some gains. And the biggest reason for that is illegal immigration. This is more than just a march, they say. This is a demand for accountability. The excitement, the tension is palpable. You can see the security presence. You can see the number of police cars, government buildings like these again fenced up. We are at Harvard University, the alma mater of Kamala Harris. As the night progressed, numbers came in thick and fast, and Donald Trump was soon declared the winner. It's being called a historic comeback. Another American presidency will begin. In Donald Trump's case, his second one.
Russian President Vladimir Putin is expected to deliver remarks today after Trump's historic presidential win. The president-elect has vowed to end the war in Ukraine, and Putin is one of few world leaders that has yet to congratulate Trump. Meanwhile, U.S. and Ukrainian officials say North Korean troops have now engaged in combat with Ukraine. ABC's Patrick Reevell joins me now for more. Patrick, the Kremlin press secretary says he's not aware of any plans to congratulate Trump, as Russian relations with the U.S. are, in his words, at a historic low. So what can we expect Putin to say in the speech today?
Hi, Dan. Yeah, I mean, we're still waiting for President Vladimir Putin to appear. He's due to give a major speech, a major planned speech in Russia. It's supposed now to go ahead in about an hour. I think we expect him very much to talk about the war in Ukraine, and there is some expectation that he could make some sort of comment about President Trump's election in the United States. I think at the moment what most people are trying to wait and see is, will Putin give some indication that he is ready for negotiations on the war? Does he want to have negotiations? The war in Ukraine has already become immediately perhaps even the top foreign policy issue on the agenda for the Trump administration. We've already seen reports today of people asking what sort of peace plan is President Trump hoping to put forward, given that throughout the campaign he's talked about ending the war within 24 hours. The Kremlin has said that that's not possible, but they have also again suggested that they feel the situation on the battlefield in Ukraine is going badly for Kyiv right now, and that they should prepare to negotiate. I think I was speaking today earlier also to a top Ukrainian official, the head of Volodymyr Zelensky's political party, who told me that the key thing for Ukraine now is security guarantees, that if the war were to stop, if there were to be a ceasefire, it would need to be permanent, and that their number one priority is that they should get security guarantees down.
Now, Patrick, Trump says he plans to end the war in Ukraine, but the Wall Street Journal reports that that plan depends on Putin being willing to stop the conflict in exchange for a 20-year guarantee of Ukraine being kept out of NATO. How's Russia responding to that?
Yeah, so this report in the Wall Street Journal this morning is attracting quite a lot of attention. As you say, it's from an anonymous foreign policy advisor to Donald Trump, saying that one possible proposal would be for Ukraine to give up joining NATO for 20 years. The conflict would be frozen, the front line would be frozen, there would be a demilitarized zone along the 800-mile front line. It would perhaps be policed by some kind of European or UN force. No US troops would be involved. And in exchange for this, Ukraine would continue to be given a significant amount of US weapons to be able to continue to defend itself. So far, Russia has not commented much on it. It was pretty much dismissed by the Kremlin spokesperson earlier, who's just said that they only see it as a Wall Street Journal proposal and too abstract for the time being, Diane.
All right, ABC's Patrick Reevell, thank you.
According to the alert issued by the IPCC's Famine Review Committee, there's a strong likelihood that famine is imminent in areas within the northern Gaza Strip. The alert further underscores that the humanitarian situation in the Gaza Strip, as we have just detailed, is extremely grave and rapidly deteriorating. They're calling for immediate action within days, not weeks, and this action is required from all who are directly taking part in the conflict or who have influence on its conduct to avert and to alleviate this catastrophic situation.
It seems pretty grim and it seems pretty urgent. What does the Secretary General plan? How does he plan to react to the report?
I think by reiterating once again the urgency to allow more assistance into Gaza, every part of Gaza. We really need to have more access. We need to have more security. We need to ensure that once that supplies that enter Gaza are able to reach everywhere inside Gaza, to reach all of these people that are desperately in need of assistance.
The 17th named storm of the season has affected 10 million people in Cuba. Rafael packed 185 kilometers an hour winds, which uprooted trees and damaged homes. Life is slowly coming back to the deserted streets of Havana. Most businesses, transport services, and schools were closed as the hurricane made landfall on Wednesday.
Imagine what my husband and my daughter went through here. The metal roof sheets were flying off. When everything calmed down a bit, we managed to get out of here. We were very scared. We had never been through a storm inside a house before. The important thing is that we are alive.
I have never seen this in 61 years. Yesterday was my birthday, and I had a very sad birthday because I saw the stadium falling apart, the towers falling down, and the roof tiles flying around. I have never seen that in my life, ever.
It's the third major power outage in just a couple of weeks. Rafael uprooted poles and damaged transmission lines. That's after Hurricane Oscar and another power failure due to aging infrastructure. There's been criticism of the government for failing to provide essential services.
We are going to break the enemy campaign of the haters who have already said that Cuba has collapsed. Nobody has collapsed here. What we are doing here is standing up and fighting. We have already organized the entire recovery phase for the damage caused by this hurricane. So far, there have been no deaths.
The cash-strapped communist government has been reeling under crippling sanctions by neighboring United States. Last month, the United Nations General Assembly voted in favor of the call for the U.S. to end its economic, commercial, and financial embargo on Cuba. Sanctions which impact Cubans' ability to pick up pieces to rebuild after yet another disaster. In addition, changing climate patterns means frequency and ferocity of hurricanes has increased. And the storm season isn't over yet. Imran Al-Khan, Al Jazeera.
Make sure to subscribe to our channel to get the latest news from Al Jazeera.